few weeks ago, I did an updated Poshmark dropshipping tutorial for those of you that were asking. And in this one, I want to cover how to dropship on Facebook Marketplace using retail dropshipping, the same exact method that we covered in that one. Retail dropshipping is a phenomenal method for a ton of beginners because you don't need to spend a ton on ads. You don't need to spend hours and hours trying to build up some brand or anything like that. And you don't really need to know anything about online marketing, online e-commerce, online business, whatever. Almost anybody can start, copy products from a site like Amazon, Walmart, eBay, wherever. There are a ton of different places to do it from. Copy them using a software on places like Poshmark, Mercari, Facebook Marketplace, and a number of others, and make some decent money for either a side hustle or scale it up. But also, the reason I recommend it for a lot of beginners is because you can start it and then either take that money, whether it's $500 a month, a few $1,000s a month, because that can be life-changing money for a lot of people. Or what you could do is take that money and then use it to cash flow a more scalable business that you would have otherwise had to spend money to actually start and scale yourself. But now your risk is mitigated because you can take the money from your dropshipping business, like I'm going to show you here, and utilize that money to then fund your other business risk-free. So it is a phenomenal way to start, whether you want to keep the money as a little side hustle or you want to try to scale it and then parlay it into a bigger, more scalable business. This is one of the best methods to do it. Now, Facebook Marketplace a few years ago used to be absolutely ridiculous. People were making a killing. I was one of them, and you could realistically list almost anything on here from almost any website, and you would get a ton of sales very, very easily. Now, full disclosure, it is not like that anymore, unfortunately. But while you can't be making, $20,000 a month in profit like you used to and above that, what you can do is you can make decent money on here. It's still side hustle worthy. It's not scalable like it used to be, but there's no reason you can't make a few $100s a month to realistically maybe 1,000 if you scale it that high. I have not, full disclosure, scaled it back up to that, but there's no reason you can't make a few $100 on here just listing products very easily. And the cool benefit of listing products on a site like Facebook Marketplace, for example, is you should already be doing that on all those other websites anyway with a software like ZDrop, which is what we're going to cover in this video, that copies the product pictures, the product title, the product description, and also marks the price up for you and stores the URL of the product, so you can just go back and find that URL and that product very easily as your supplier. Order it to the customer and drop ship it. It makes it stupidly easy, so you don't have to spend your manual time. You just let the software do 99% of the work, copy the stuff over, and then you verify the information, make sure it's right, format it right for the actual website, and then submit the listing. And then essentially what it is it's like fishing rods in the water. The more fishing rods, i.e. listings in this example that you have, the more potential sales that you will make. And as you start listing more and more consistently, even if you do like 50 a day, 100 a day, which doesn't take that long with the software, obviously it's doing the majority of the listing for you. There's also a bulk feature that I will show you how to utilize here in a second as well in this tutorial. It realistically isn't that hard to get that many listings up fast, and as you're doing it more and more consistently, you might look up a few weeks from now and be making pretty decent monthly money just by listing products on a website like Facebook Marketplace in this example, or Poshmark like the last one. I will also link that Poshmark dropshipping tutorial at the end of the description if you want to check that out too, since they're both heavily related, just on slightly different websites with slightly different strategies, but again, pretty similar. All you're going to need here is ZDrop, so I will link ZDrop in the description. I do not have an affiliate link with ZDrop. I make no money by recommending this to you, but it is something I have used and recommended for 5, 6, maybe even 7 years now. I don't know. It is a phenomenal tool for what you get. I believe it looks like $17 a month now. For what you get in this, it is unmatched, okay? Not only will it copy products from, to other websites like Etsy, Facebook Marketplace, Facebook Shop, Mercari, Poshmark, and a number of others, it will also pull from hundreds of different suppliers, and you can utilize the buttons here that it comes up with once you download the extension and obviously you upgrade to copy any product listing from almost any of the websites to all of the websites that they cover, right? So as you can see here, they support all these marketplaces right here. I've used Facebook Marketplace. I don't dropship on eBay, although I suppose you could use it for that. Shopify, I've used it for before as well. You can copy to Amazon, copy to TikTok Shop, Etsy, Mercari, Poshmark, and a number of these other ones. like Curtsy's one I've done, Depop, Grailed, Tradesy, and Vinted. Kitizen, there's a number of them. I think Kitizen actually got discontinued fairly recently, but there's a ton of them out there, right? Best Air Collective was another one. Now, all of these websites you can copy from, so it doesn't just have to be Amazon, eBay, Etsy, Walmart. You can copy from any of these websites as well, and the button will pop up on that website to copy it over to whatever marketplace you want, okay? Now, here's what you're gonna get when you actually download it. In ZDrop, you're going to have all your products that you've listed here with their actual prices on the supplier, and it's going to store them automatically. So when you copy over the actual product using the button, it's going to store it in your actual extension. So all you have to do is come back into the search bar, type a keyword for that product listing up, and you can find that product very, very easily. And then the picture is clickable, and it's going to take you directly to that supplier listing like that. You can't beat that, especially for that price. It does all of that stuff. It is a no-brainer. Now, I use it for a ton of other things as well. You can also download pictures and download videos on different listings. So in this case, it would download any images or videos on this listing, but it doesn't just do Amazon. It does a number of other websites too. Now, that is important if you're doing like TikTok Shop or TikTok affiliates, or realistically a number of other things, but there's so much functionality of this. But in this tutorial, just to keep it kind of brief for you, because I could talk about this for hours, I'm just going to show you how to utilize it to dropship to Facebook Marketplace, right? Now, one more thing before we actually get started as well is in the settings, you can personalize it for whatever you want. So you can have it run to different websites by clicking in the different buttons and selecting them. You can mark your profit percentage so that when you copy it over, it marks it up a certain percentage. As you can see here, I have it automatically listing at a quantity of 10 and a profit percentage of 75. You could also do profit dollars, and you can set up a custom template if you want in templates, and then apply that template as well. Now, as you scroll down, you can do different functions. So do you want to list in used condition, new condition? Do you want to hide it from your friends on Facebook Marketplace? You get the picture. Just go through these prompts and set it up how you want. It's very, very easy. And I have other tutorials showing how to actually go ahead and set this up. And all you really need to know as well is at the bottom, you can show and hide certain buttons for other stores, right? So depending on what marketplaces you want up, so it doesn't cloud your browser with all these different blue buttons of like 100 different blue buttons, you can unselect some if you don't plan on using them by just going again to settings, scrolling all the way down, and unselecting Vinted or unselecting Depop or unselecting Grailed or whatever you want, right? And only having the few that you plan on utilizing it to copy, and then just make sure that you save your button status and then save the actual settings on your ZDrop extension, right? So that's pretty self-explanatory, and we got all the boring stuff out of the way. Now we're gonna get into the tutorial here in a second, but that ties me into the sponsor of today's video, which fits perfectly into what we're doing here, because when you actually find a winning product that continues to sell over and over and over again for you, whether you're drop shipping here on Facebook Marketplace, whatever the site is, even if it's on your own website, you're going to want to start running ads at some point to that winning product to start maximizing sales and profit. But for many of us, running Facebook ads can be extremely frustrating, especially if you find a winning product here on Facebook Marketplace. One of the past ways to scale it really, really big was once you see that it's selling over and over again, start firing up the ad budget and try to maximize your ROI, right? But that can be frustrating for those of you that don't know a lot about what you're doing, or even if you already do know what you're doing, it can still be very frustrating, right? Endless tweaking, confusing dashboards, and the constant worry of wasting money on the wrong audience. Do you log in every hour to check? All of that plays into it, especially if you're not that experienced. But what if you could skip all of that and let AI do all the work for you? So that is where Lexi comes in. Lexi.ai is your AI-powered ad manager that's going to take all the guesswork out of running ads like this. Whether you're a business owner, a drop shipper, an affiliate marketer, whatever, Lexi runs and optimizes the ads for you so you can focus on growing your own business instead of struggling with the ad settings and running the ads yourself. There's no complicated setup. There's no manual targeting. Just plug in your campaign details and what you want and let Lexi do all the rest for you. It's going to find the right audience. It's going to optimize the ad delivery, and it's going to maximize your ROI. Now, users are seeing an ad cost of as low as 2 cents per click, which is absolutely ridiculous, even without lifting a finger, because it does it all for you. So if you're a marketer or an affiliate, that you can easily manage and scale your clients' ads without spending hours tweaking settings. If you're a drop shipper like I am with little to no ad experience, then no problem. Lex is going to ensure that your ads run profitably, helping you drive sales effortlessly, and then obviously those winning products that we talked about that usually drive 80% of your results, you can scale to the moon. Now, if you're a business owner and you want more leads and more sales without wasting money, let them handle the optimization for you. And the best part of all of it is you can try it completely free for 7 days. Click the link in the description below to see how effortless ad management can be. And it doesn't have to be daunting and unpredictable anymore. Just use this. All right, so back to the tutorial now. This is how simple it is once you set it up. So we just find the button on here that says copy to Facebook, and it's going to copy it over to Facebook Marketplace for us. Now, what is it going to do instantly? As soon as we see the button pop up here, we're going to paste the data in there. Paste the data. Now it's going to copy over the pictures very quickly, the title of the listing, the description of the listing, and also mark the price up whatever we set it to. And as you can see, I set mine to 75%. So it's going to mark whatever the price is on Amazon in this example, or whatever your supplier's website is, up 75%. Okay. Now you don't have to start that high. It depends on the different website, right? So like if you're listing on a site that has lower fees, then obviously you can get away with listing it at a lower percentage because you don't want your price to be ridiculously high, right? If you're listing on a site like Poshmark, you're going to want to list it with higher percentage because they have the highest fees of any website. But again, you have good sales there as well. So it just depends. But typically I like to recommend most people at least start at 60%. That might sound high, but you would rather do less work for less sales and more profit, right? Because you can drop your price and get a ton of sales. But realistically, there's that sweet spot that I've found where it's like you want to do less work for less sales that are getting you more profit. It seems like a no-brainer, and 60% is right around that sweet spot that I've found personally over the past 5 years or so that works, gets you sales, and also doesn't have processing 100 orders a day, which can be tedious and annoying if you don't have a virtual assistant to do it for you, right? Which is something you could do to scale in the future, but we're obviously not talking about that right now. So as you can see, I listed all the actual pictures. So now you want to pick the best picture to drag in the front because that first picture is going to be the listing picture that's actually going to get the views, right? That's going to draw people's attention in, and then they're going to potentially check out the listing, the other pictures on the listing. So that first picture is important. Make sure that your first picture is the best one that you think orchestrates the actual product the best, right? Now for the actual title, what you could do is you could change it around a little bit so it's not super hard for other people to snipe you. But realistically, because Facebook Marketplace isn't popping off like it used to, and because there's not a ton of dropshippers on here anymore, you almost don't really need to worry about it as much anymore. What I typically like to tell people now is just make sure that there's no brand names in the title that are super obvious. If it says, a super obvious brand name, like, whatever it is, if it's a third-party brand, obviously, because you shouldn't be listing any popular brands like Nike, Adidas, anything like that. Avoid those popular brands. But if you're listing a third-party smaller brand, like this is, for example, it's just an Amazon seller that's third-party, take the brand name out if it says it's like whatever it is in the beginning, right? That's a no-brainer. And mark the price up 75%, as we can see from the original listing at $90. It's going to auto suggest us certain categories. I'm going to go duffel and gym bags, but if you didn't like that, you could click into categories and actually pick one out for yourself. It auto listed it in new condition, and it auto copied over all of the description as well. Now, what I'll do for the description is I'll check the last bullet point if it's Amazon, like we are talking about in this example, because typically Amazon listings as the last bullet point can, not always can, sometimes have money back guarantees or information about the warranty or information about the brand or whatever the case is. After sale service, you'll see one a lot like that. So I'll check the last bullet point, and if it says that, I'll delete that bullet point, and if not, then I'll keep it. But obviously I'm just going to delete everything after that. Now, you don't need to worry about any of the color, the material, or anything like that. If you want to add it, you can, but it's going to slow you down because at the end of the day, this is a numbers game. Like I said, think more fishing poles in the water, more potential fish or sales in this example, and more money in your pocket. So I wouldn't worry about adding any other things that you don't need to. You can go very quickly. Like you can list here. I've done other videos in the past. You could search the channel on listing to Facebook Marketplace and realistically doing like 100 listings. I forget the number. It might've been like in 30 minutes. And you go through, you bang it out really quickly with software like this. And it's not very difficult, right? So I'm gonna hide it from friends. And then the delivery method is shipping or local pickup. If you're brand new and you've never listed, you might not have the shipping option. So I can if you want to know how to get the shipping option, let me know, comment below if that's you, and I will drop a video on how to do that. I'm gonna make it specifically for how to get the shipping option super quickly because I've done videos like that in the past, and I literally just did it with a brand new profile a few months ago, so I know how to do it, but I don't wanna cover that here. This is for those of you that obviously have the shipping option already. You select shipping, Prepaid shipping labels aren't available anymore on Facebook, which is great because we don't care about that. We're drop shipping it. I always put the shipping rate at $5, but you could also offer free shipping if you wanted to as well. Then you click next and you move forward, and you can publish it to any groups if you want to. I don't ever do that. I just click publish, and then we move on to the next listing. So there we go, publish that one. And as soon as it's done, we're gonna X out, go to the next listing. All right, there we go. So now we're gonna list these glasses or these goggles here. And before I take you through one more of these, I wanna show you how easy it is to actually list in bulk. So if you click the ZDrop extension up here and you go to bulk right here, you're gonna start noticing that as you add things to your bulk list, which is a button I'll show you here in a second that's in blue, it's gonna start adding listings here. And then what you can do is you can come back up to your extension, go to bulk, and once you've added a bunch in here, then you can just select them all and run bulk and then go about your day. Come back and it will have listed 50 of them up there or 30 of them up there or 10 of them up there, whatever you want to do in bulk already for you. And you just have to come back and verify a few things and then click publish like I showed you once it's already moved over. Now that's going to save you a ton of time because the most time intensive part of this is waiting for it to copy. Even though it's very quick at copying, it still takes like 30 seconds sometimes to actually copy it over, but you can save 30 seconds times 50 or whatever the case is if you just run it in bulk, add them all to your bulk list first, run it in bulk like I said, and then go have a coffee. Whatever you want to do, go play 9 holes of golf or whatever you want to do, right? And so by adding different things to your bulk list and running it in bulk, you can go a lot faster, you can save a lot of time. Maybe you're going to work. Right before you go to work, add 50 to your bulk list and then run it, okay? Do it really fast when you get home and you can kind of be like your side hustle that way, right? So as you can see, we need to find the button where it says add to bulk. So save to bulk list, boom. Once it comes back up to the top and you see all the pictures move, you've added to the bulk list. So we'll move on to the next one, save to the bulk list, all the pictures moved. Next one, save to the bulk list, came back to the top and all the pictures moved. So now if we go into the bulk list, you should see all 3 of those listings. Boom, there they are. So if I wanted to run it in bulk, I would just select them all, run bulk, and then you'd see it start running all the listings in bulk as I'm talking to you, just copying them over, adding them in, copying them over, adding them in, and everything will be there for you 5-10 minutes later, depending on obviously how many listings you've obviously added in there. But you've added 50, which is the most that I typically recommend people to do because sometimes it can lag out. It doesn't happen often, but sometimes it can. And I've noticed that if you give it like 100 listings at once, it tends to happen a lot more frequently. So 50 seems to be that sweet spot where it does a very good job of it, but it doesn't go slow or lag out. Now I did forget to actually change the bulk lister here, so that's going to be an issue. Let me stop it and I'll show you how to fix that. One more little caveat is if we stop the bulk lister, you need to, because you can bulk list to a bunch of different platforms, right? So if you want to change your bulk list settings, come back into your settings under the extension, go into settings, and then change where you run it to bulk. So see, if you were paying attention, it started listing bulk to Poshmark. So if you want it to list to Mercari or Facebook Shop or wherever, you obviously want to select that button, right? So I want it to Facebook Marketplace, I'd want to select that. Then I would scroll all the way down and save my button status, okay? But that's the bulk lister, just to kind of give you a short rundown of how to use it. It's going to save you a ton of time and make it so much easier. But let me show you how fast to copy one more of these over. So just copy to Facebook, let it do its job. When you see the paste data button pop up, then you'll paste the data. And as soon as we see all the information pop up here, there we go. So now I copied the pictures, as you can see, the title and the description, and mark the price up. Now, one of the things here is a perfect example. You don't want this brand name in the title, right? Because they don't need to know that it's Jamie Wynn Motocross Goggles. We could just delete that out. And now we'll still be able to search these keywords or even this entire title into our actual search bar when somebody orders this to find the product, know where to order it from. Because again, like I said, ZDrop stores all of that information in there for you by just doing a simple search. You can search a keyword, search the entire listing, whatever you want to do. Or what you could do is you could just search this in the search bar on Amazon. You'd find it very quickly. If you know your main suppliers, you search the search bars there. You could search it for Google. You could also reverse image search the actual image pictures. That works very well as well. There's a ton of ways to find your supplier, but realistically with ZDrop, you don't need to use any of those because it's going to store all of them here for you, which is another reason that I love it, okay? So it marked the price up, it got the actual title in there, it suggested us different categories. Again, if you didn't like that, you could click the down arrow. If you didn't like any of these, you didn't think it fits, click the down arrow, search through categories, find one that you think fits. But obviously we're gonna go with winter sports here. It's motocross goggle. Actually, let's go goggles and masks. It's listed it in new condition. Again, we're going to go down to the last bullet point, see if it talks about any warranty, brand information, or anything like that. It does not, so we can keep it, but I'm going to delete everything after that because we don't really need it. Scroll down, hide it from friends, click next. Delivery method, again, is shipping. If you don't have the shipping option, comment below. If enough of you comment below, I'll make the video on how to get the shipping option fast. And I like to offer $5 shipping rate. You can offer it for free if you want to. It doesn't really matter since you've already marked your price up a decent amount, right? Then you click next and you publish it. And that is how easy it is to drop ship using ZDrop and Amazon or Walmart or eBay or wherever on Facebook Marketplace. Now, full disclosure, it is not crazy like it used to be. You will not make $10,000, $20,000 a month in profit. You won't even realistically make $5,000 in profit, obviously. You're still going to even struggle to make $1,000 a month in profit realistically on Facebook Marketplace. But if you just are listing to Facebook Marketplace on top of Poshmark or somewhere else, it's a no-brainer because you can make $300, $500, $800 a month in profit on this website just listing the same products using the same business model. It is a no-brainer. I definitely recommend that you do it. So I really hope this helps, guys. Any questions, let me know.